Hi guys, my name is Like You Dear. I'm back here to bring you another Destiny video. And today we'll be talking about the new Dawnblade class. Now, personal comment before we get started, this is probably one of my favorite classes out of the entire Destiny 2, the new super abilities. So, enough of me saying personal comments, let's get started. Alright, first, the new Dawnblade super, Daybreak. Press R1 and L1 to weave solar light into blades and smite your foes in the skies. Now, I've seen it in action and it's really good. It's actually pretty amazing. This reminds me of the first time I saw Sunbreaker. I absolutely fell in love with it. I'll never forget that day when it ever came out, but this is my new Sunbreaker if you take that into that fact. So it's really great. It's really great. On the grenades are still the same. It's like the same, Sunseeker grenades, you have your, Firebolt, Solar, you get the point. Next up is the class ability, the Rifts. This actually interests me the most because I'll get into that comment in a moment, but let me continue. Healing Rift. Conjure a well of light that continually heals allies and those inside of it. Basically, it's like a sunspot, and when you put it down, it heals all the allies around you. And this helps as far as utility and raids. I can see this being a go-to thing in raids for people now. Next up is Empowering Rift. Conjure a well of light that increases the attack power of those inside of it. This is also good because this is also helps in far as like damage wise. So like I said, raids and strikes. This will be the defining thing in strikes to be looking for because you'll be like whoever has the the Dawnblade Warlock, then they'd be able to put they'd be able to give us the Empire Rift to put extra damage on. Now the comment I wanted to say earlier before I kind of got stuck on what I was gonna say was the fact that this right here is a game changer in PvP and PvE. Just because PvP, I'll get started on that first, because PvP currently now is actually, the fact that it's 4v4, and the fact that now it's more of like, now you can see the supers on the Crucible thing when you play the game modes, which I'll make a video on that sooner or later, but it's actually made, now you have a fact to protect your team. You can actually heal your team in the middle of a fight, so it actually really does well. And plus the ability to put more damage. Now I don't see that. It's okay, like if you want to take out a bunch of enemies and you just want to just smash, like overkill smash damage on them, but I don't really see it being actually used in PvP as much. But the healing rift, I can see it being used a lot in PvP. Now as far as PvE, both of these bring some really great utility as far as damage and healing. Healing, it helps because if you're getting slammed by a boss or it's it's like his minions, then you can basically get the healing rift off and it'll just give you healing. You can just you can just keep on laying down enemies while you're basically getting healing. And a power rift helps because you can basically get that extra boss damage in and just start laying onto the enemy's head. And I know this is going to be the defining thing because when raids come out, this is going to be one of the things that people are looking for, especially people that play raids a lot. So that's really good. Next up is the jumps. They're still the same for all the Warlock classes. You get your regular jumps. The first passive skill tree. Phoenix Dive. Quickly descend from mid-air and regenerate health. This basically allows you to slam on the ground and get health back. This is basically like the Cauterize perk on the Sunbreaker, and it allows you to basically get damage and health. So this is really good. Skyfire. When Daybreak is active, Descend causes explosive damage when you land. So when you descend down, it allows you to basically land damage on people with your super. So it's like the Sunspot ability when you start it up, except it doesn't use it as a startup. It uses it when you like slam down to the ground. You know, the one you saw into the gameplay premiere. But this is also pretty good. So you're able to lay in damage while regenerating health. So this allows you to be the tank in the team, the bastion, the support. So when you're getting slammed by enemies, you have too many, just call on the Dawnblade, and it'll just take care of everything. Next up, Risen Angel. When in the air, aim your weapon to hover in place for a short time. Then precision damage will extend the duration. You'll be in place. It's basically like the Angel of Light perk for the Warlock, for the Sunzinger Warlock. But it gives the added bonus of actually doing precision damage to extend the duration. So you'll be able to stay in the air for a really, really long time if you keep on hitting precision hits in there. So it actually has really good utility for so far. It has so good utility for this class, and I'm actually really enjoying it. This is one of the reasons why I enjoy the class so much. It's really supportive. It supports the team while helping you at the same time, smashing the enemies and destroying them completely. Next one is Igniting Touch, a powerful melee ability that nags enemies and causes them to explode. Same old perk, and then you basically do your melee Sunzinger. It's basically the same Sunzinger perk in Destiny 1. So nothing new there. The second skill tree, Firestar, a powerful melee ability that damages enemies while also increasing your movement and reload speed. So it's almost like the Voidwalker. It's almost like the Voidwalker melee. I forgot the name of the perk, but it gives extra reload speed when you kill an enemy. But instead of killing an enemy, all you have to do is just get damage. And that's pretty much it, and you'll basically get real space. So this will be something really amazing to do in PvP. I mean, I can see this being just something that people will hate about the Warlock in PvP, and people will absolutely wanting to use the class more since of this perk. Next up is Wildfire. Engage your enemies in mid-flight. Fire weapons and throw grenades while gliding. So this basically negates all that stuff when you want to fly and fire in the air. That basically gets rid of all that, and you're able to fly and fire and shoot grenades. So I can see this also being something very fun in PvP to kind of mess with. Also in PvP, PvE, I don't really see much use for it, but PvP most definitely. Next up is Everlasting Flames. Killing an enemy with Daybreak extends duration. So yeah, they basically added the Blade Dancer perk to the Daybreak, and it gives it a lot of utility towards that. So that's good. Now it would have been better if they added a little extra damage, but this is good enough. I'll take this. Last one is Blazing Dash, dodge in midair. Twilight Garrison, here we come! And basically Warlocks have it now. They're already powerful enough. They already have an extended melee, plus they already have devastating grenades. Plus, with a devastating super on their hands, they already have a Twilight Garrison dodge in the air melee. I mean, dodge in the air dodge. And now Warlocks are basically God. They've come on top. To be honest with you, personal comment. They've come on top every time a new DLC or a new super. Like, for example, Taken King. When Taken King came out, they gave Warlocks the worst thing they could ever give. Was extended range on something that already has extended range. So this in PvP is bad enough as it is. But this is more of a reason to me to be going on to the Warlock Master Race bandwagon, because this is going to be amazing in PvP. This allows a lot of tactical play and a lot of more kills towards this class. Now, personal comment what I think about the class, and as far as PvP and PvE. PvP, I think this class is going to be quite devastating. Warlocks is always, as they've always been the underdog of the entire PvP community. Until they always get, some kind of special perk that always helps them out. And they always come on top because of the special perks, because they're just gods at this point, and it just makes them really, really strong. Now, Hunters still rule PvP because, the golden gun, especially now because it has 6 shots. But with this should be a game changer now. Especially with it also having a sword to moving just like, the Sunbreaker. So this is actually pretty good. As far as PvE, I can see this class being a more support and helping out the team as far as, getting healing and damage and all that stuff off with just this class. But yeah, I can see this being something really good. Really, really good. Well, guys, I'll be probably making the striker video tomorrow, but other than that, it was nice, for me to make this video, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.
You can be mad at me, tell me I was born to quit, I was checking, go. Or you could just freak with me, I said it again, let the numbers roll.